The Congo River, a lifeline that has flowed through the heart of Africa for millennia. A ribbon of darkness, snaking through the heart of Africa. It promised riches untold, a treasure trove hidden within its depths and along its banks. It whispered of ivory and gold, luring adventurers and conquerors with the promise of wealth beyond imagination. The allure of these precious resources was irresistible. But for the people of the Congo, it became a river of blood. The riches that enticed outsiders brought only suffering and death to the indigenous population. Their story, under the reign of King Leopold II of Belgium, is one of unimaginable cruelty. Leopold's insatiable greed turned the Congo into his personal fiefdom, a place where human lives were expendable. This is a story of greed. A story where the quest for wealth overshadowed humanity, where the extraction of resources was prioritized over the well-being of the people. It is a story of exploitation on a scale rarely seen in human history. Millions suffered, millions died. The Congolese were forced into labor, their hands severed if they failed to meet quotas. Their cries were lost in the jungle, swallowed by the dense foliage and the indifference of those who profited from their pain ignored by the world. The international community turned a blind eye, allowing the atrocities to continue unchecked for years. The Congo's heart of darkness was a testament to the depths of human cruelty and the silence of those who could have made a difference. King Leopold II, a name that echoes through the annals of history. A man of insatiable ambition, cloaked in the respectability of European royalty. He was not just another monarch, he was a visionary with a dark side, driven by an unquenchable thirst for power and wealth. He craved an empire, a personal domain to rival the colonial holdings of other European powers. The vastness of Africa, with its uncharted territories and untapped resources, presented an irresistible allure. Africa, with its vast untapped resources, became his target. The continent's rich natural wealth, from rubber to ivory, promised immense profits for those daring enough to seize them. In 1885, at the Berlin Conference, the great powers of Europe carved up Africa like a pie. This conference, a gathering of the world's most powerful nations, decided the fate of an entire continent without any African representation. Leopold, through cunning diplomacy and false promises, secured the Congo Basin. He presented himself as a humanitarian, promising to bring civilization and Christianity to the heart of Africa. He called it the Congo Free State, a name that belied the true nature of his intentions. This was no free state. It was a personal fiefdom where his word was law. Free, however, only for him to exploit. The local population was subjected to brutal forced labor, their lives and lands sacrificed for Leopold's insatiable greed. The Congo Free State became a place of unimaginable suffering, a dark chapter in the history of colonialism. Rubber, the black gold of the late 19th century. It fueled the Industrial Revolution, and the Congo was bursting with it. Leopold saw a fortune to be made. He saw not people but tools to extract his wealth. A system of forced labor was implemented. Villages were given impossible quotas to meet. Failure meant brutal punishments. Hands were chopped off. Families were held hostage. Death from starvation, disease, or outright murder became commonplace. The Congo, once a land of vibrant life, became a land of death. The stench of decay hung heavy in the air. The cries of the suffering echoed through the jungle. The very soul of the Congo was being ripped apart. The cruelty was systematic, wrote historian Adam Hochschild. It was at the heart of the system. Millions perished. Their stories for too long remained untold. Their suffering for too long unacknowledged. But the darkness could not last forever. A faint light of hope began to flicker. Voices of dissent rose up, challenging the silence. Activists like E.D. Morel and Roger Casement risked their lives to expose the truth. They wrote articles, they gave speeches, they smuggled photographs out of the Congo, shocking images that the world could no longer ignore. The world began to listen. The tide of public opinion began to turn. The weight of evidence became too much. The world could no longer ignore the cries from the Congo. International pressure mounted on Leopold. His carefully crafted image, that of a benevolent philanthropist, lay shattered. In 1908, after years of denial and obfuscation, Leopold was forced to relinquish control of the Congo Free State. It was handed over to the Belgian government. But the damage was done. The scars of Leopold's reign would run deep. Section 7. Ghosts of the Past. The Congo, finally free from Leopold's grasp, faced a long and arduous journey to recovery. The legacy of his rule, however, continued to cast a long shadow. The seeds of instability and conflict had been sown. The arbitrary borders drawn by Leopold, dividing communities and igniting ethnic tensions, would plague the Congo for decades to come. The systematic exploitation of its resources left the country impoverished and vulnerable. Section 8. A Legacy of Scars. The Congo today still bears the scars of Leopold's reign. Poverty, corruption, and violence continue to plague the country. The echoes of forced labor can still be heard in the exploitation of its people and its resources. The story of the Congo Free State is a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked greed and the human cost of colonialism. It is a story that demands to be told, lest we forget the lessons of the past. Section 9. Remembering the Forgotten. We have a responsibility to remember the millions who suffered and died under Leopold's brutal regime, to remember their stories, their resilience, their humanity, to honor their memory by fighting against injustice wherever it exists. We must learn from the mistakes of the past. We must challenge systems of oppression and exploitation. We must raise our voices for those who cannot speak for themselves. Section 10. Breaking the Chains of History. The Congo's story is not over. It is a tale that continues to unfold, a narrative that stretches from the depths of history to the present day. The Congo, a land rich in culture and natural beauty, has faced countless challenges and adversities. Yet, it remains a place of incredible potential and promise. It is a story of resilience, of hope, and of a people who refuse to be defined by their past. The children attending school today are the future leaders, the ones who will carry forward the legacy of their ancestors while forging new paths. These are people determined to forge their own destiny. They come together in times of celebration and in times of hardship, united by a common goal, to build a better future for themselves and for generations to come. It is a story that reminds us that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit can endure. The monuments and memorials scattered across the Congo serve as solemn reminders of the past, but they also stand as symbols of resilience and strength. The human spirit can endure and even thrive. Inspirational individuals within the community work tirelessly to support one another, to uplift those who are struggling, and to create opportunities where none existed before. By acknowledging the atrocities of the past, by learning from them, and by working together, we can pave the way for a brighter future. International aid workers and local leaders collaborate to bring about meaningful change, addressing the root causes of poverty and conflict. We can help create a future where the Congo, and all nations, are free from the chains of history. This vision of freedom and liberation is not just a dream. It is a goal that can be achieved through collective effort and unwavering determination. A future where the chains of oppression and suffering are broken, where the people of the Congo can live in peace and prosperity. The symbolic breaking of chains represents the liberation of not just a nation, but of the human spirit itself. A future where the river of darkness flows once more with the promise of life, peace, and prosperity. The Congo River, a lifeline for the nation, symbolizes the flow of hope and renewal, nourishing the land and its people. Peace and prosperity. The vibrant markets and hardworking farmers are testament to the resilience and industriousness of the Congolese people. They are the heartbeat of the nation, driving its economy and ensuring its survival. The children playing in the streets and the families sharing meals together are the true essence of the Congo. They embody the spirit of community, of togetherness, and of an unbreakable bond that transcends time and adversity. As the sun sets over the lush landscapes of the Congo, it casts a warm glow on the hopeful faces of its people. They look towards the future with optimism, ready to embrace the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. Together, they stand united, breaking the chains of history and forging a new path forward. A path of unity, of strength, and of unwavering hope for a brighter tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to History Unspoken for more stories that shape our world.